Hi, I'm Steve Wickers, a senior front-end engineer focused on React, TypeScript, API design, and modern data-driven applications. In this video, I'm going to walk through how I built a movie UI dashboard that explores both REST and GraphQL APIs from a single front end. This isn't just a UI for displaying data. It's a system designed to make API behavior visible, compare REST and GraphQL in real time, and demonstrate how modern front-end architecture interacts with flexible data layers. This is about understanding data flow, not just rendering it. The full code is available on my GitHub, including implementation details and architectural decisions. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn. Both links are in the description below. Before I jump into the walkthrough, I want to quickly mention how this application is wired up. The dashboard runs against a shared backend platform built as part of this portfolio. It depends on Postgres Movie Platform for the database layer, which runs in Docker and exposes a PostgreSQL instance on port 58080. Once the database is running, the application connects to either my .NET API or my Node.js API, both of which exposes the same underlying data through the REST and GraphQL. I'll briefly show you where these projects live on GitHub. But for this video, the focus is really on how the front end interacts with those APIs. This setup allows me to isolate the front end and really focus on how the data is requested and rendered. Let me show you how this is structured. Here is my GitHub. I have 3 related projects that work together. The Postgres Movie Platform is responsible for provisioning the database and running it in Docker. Then I have 2 API implementations, a .NET version and a Node.js version, both exposing the same dataset through REST and GraphQL. And finally, this movie UI dashboard sits on top of those APIs. This is an architectural layout of how the movie UI dashboard is set up. If you wish to run the application, you will have to download the Postgres Movie Platform and one of the APIs and follow the setup instructions. For this video, I'm going to focus on how the front end interacts with those APIs, especially GraphQL. At a high level, the dashboard allows you to explore and manage movie data through both REST and GraphQL APIs. It supports searching, filtering, sorting, pagination, and full CRUD operations. But more importantly, between REST and GraphQL using the exact same UI. From here, I'll walk through how the system works, including how the data fetching is handled, how GraphQL changes the way data is requested, and how the front end is structured to support both API patterns. Then I'll break down key implementations, decisions, and trade-offs along the way. This application was built with React, Vite, TypeScript, TanScript query, and other various technologies. These tools work together to create a clean separation between UI, routing, and data fetching. The UI describes what the data needs, and the data layer handles how to get it. TanStack query is responsible for managing all server state. It handles caching, refetching, background updates, and loading state automatically. This removes a huge amount of complexity from the UI. One of the main goals of this project is to compare REST and GraphQL in a real application, not just conceptually, but in how they behave under actual UI interactions. Both approaches solve the same problem, getting data from the server to the client, but they do it in a fundamentally different way. The difference becomes very noticeable once you start building complex UIs. Now let's look at how this behaves in a real application. I'm going to run the same query using REST and GraphQL and compare what exactly comes back from the server. First, this is the REST request. Notice that the server returns a full object, even if the UI only needs a subset of this data. This leads to 2 common issues: overfetching, where you receive unnecessary fields, and underfetching, where you need multiple requests to build a complete view. Now I'll run the same exact interaction with GraphQL. Here's the query being sent. The front end is explicitly asking for only the fields it needs, and that response matches exactly. Nothing extra is returned, just what the UI requested. GraphQL flips this model. Instead of the server defining the response, the client defines exactly what it needs. The front end constructs a query that describes both the data shape and the relationship it needs. This eliminates overfetching because unused fields are never returned. It also reduces underfetching by allowing nested data to be retrieved in a single request. So instead of coordinating multiple endpoints, the client can compose a single query that matches the UI exactly. The dashboard also supports creating, updating, and deleting movies. These operations trigger mutations, and TanStack query automatically updates the UI. If I create or update a record, that triggers a mutation, and the UI stays in sync automatically. Here is the REST update, sending all attributes using put. And here is GraphQL, and only updating the current record, sending exactly what attributes you want to update. This has real implications: network performance, payload size, flexibility, and scalability. And this is why GraphQL becomes more valuable as applications grow in complexity. This is something you don't see until you build both approaches side by side. In this dashboard, the difference becomes very visible. When I switch between REST and GraphQL, the UI stays the same, but the data behavior changes. With REST, the payload is fixed regardless of what the UI needs. With GraphQL, I can dynamically control the fields being returned. That means I can optimize network usage, reduce payload size, and tailor responses to a specific component. But GraphQL isn't automatically better. It introduces its own trade-offs. Query complexity can grow quickly, caching becomes more nuanced compared to REST, and you need a well-designed schema to avoid performance issues. So while GraphQL gives the client more power, it also requires more discipline in how the queries are structured. This is exactly why I built the dashboard, to make those differences visible. The same UI, the same dataset, but two different data access platforms. REST is predictable and simple. GraphQL is flexible and expensive. And understanding when to use each is what matters in a real system. GraphQL doesn't replace REST. It gives the front end more control over how the data is shaped and delivered. The UI supports filtering by genre, date range, and revenue. These filters are translated into API parameters, and TanStack query automatically refetches data when those parameters change. This includes Debounce filtering, pagination resets, and caching strategies to keep the UI responsive. This is where front-end engineering meets data engineering. Now that we looked at how the data is fetched, let's look at how the UI interacts with that data in real time. Here I'm filtering movies by name and other criteria. Each of these interactions trigger a new query. This is where TanStack query comes in. It automatically manages fetching, caching, and updating server data. The UI doesn't manage loading or caching manually. It just describes the query state. Every time I change a filter, a new request is triggered with updated parameters. Pagination works the same way. The page state becomes part of the query key, which means each page is cached independently. Under the hood, TanStack query uses query keys to uniquely identify each dataset. So a query might be defined by search, filters, and pagination combined. Change any part of that and you'll get a new cached result. Also, you'll notice I'm not firing a request on every keystroke. That's because I debounce user input to reduce unnecessary API calls. This improves both performance and user experience. And when GraphQL is enabled and the columns are filtered out, the same UI interactions generate completely different queries, but the UI layer doesn't change. That separation is intentional. So what you are seeing here isn't just UI behavior, it's data orchestrated layer. The UI defines state, TanStack query manages data, and the API delivers results. In this scenario, I demonstrated real front-end architecture, server state management, caching strategies, and performance thinking. This pattern scales really well with dashboards, admin tools, and any data-heavy applications. There are a few key principles behind this system: separation of concerns, flexible data access, reusable UI patterns, and centralized data handling. The goal is to make the data interactions predictable, scalable, and easy to evolve. The same patterns can be applied in real-world systems, dashboards, admin tools, analytic platforms, and enterprise data apps. The data changes, but the architecture stays the same. In building this, I focus on clarity, maintainability, and making the system easy for other engineers to work with. At the end of the day, this project isn't about movies. It's about understanding how the data flows through the modern application and how to design a system that gives you control over the data. From REST to GraphQL, from UI state to server state, this is the kind of architecture that scales. If you'd like to explore the code, it's available on my GitHub site. And feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. Thanks for watching, and thanks for taking the time to walk through how this system is built.